So if we'll just sit quietly, each in your own place, get a sense of your physical body. Even if you want to just touch yourself, this is the physical body you are in. The body is in a comfortable position. There's nothing that the body needs to do to give you messages. You can just simply hold your soul in this present moment on this planet. You are here on mission. There's reasons for you to be here. Let the body soften and relax. And notice your breathing as it moves in and out of your nostrils. With each breath, let what has been the day relax, be set aside, and the breath be here, just your consciousness to the divine, your connection to your family off planet. And shift your focus to that energy from home. And let that communication to that greater family be them to you. Here is what we have for you. Here is what we have for you. And as you breathe that in with appreciation, say to them, this is what I need from you today, in this moment. This is what I need from you. And tell them. And as we gather in this sacred ground of sovereignty, each of us cocooned within the 4-layer red rock guardian circle, hitchhiker shield, hazmat absorption field. Really expand your awareness of your connection from home and from you to home. Secured channel. Anchored within the roots of Gaia. Housed in the cocoon. Gathered here together to ask, how can we best serve in this moment? We invite our spiritual teams, guides, advisors to be here with us. We know that we are in momentous times. We are gathered, committed as a pillar for that same truth to be given to all here on Earth Mission. We expand that field to cover the entire globe and all dimensions within Earth life. And our circle is declared, designed, it is anchored, activated, and opened. We are here. And so it is. Just feel that connection. And when we're ready, bring that here into our circle today. So now we'll go around and place ourselves in the circle. And if there's any situations, animals, people that you want to put in the circle, in addition to the quality you'd like to claim active, we'll do that now. So Sharon Riegie Maynard here, Darrington, Washington for a few more days. And I want to bring a deepening connection to the core of this change. And 2 situations and 13 people. And I'll pass to Kelly.
So Kelly here in Portland, Oregon. I want to bring in the magnificence of creation and two situations and 7 people, please. And
Kelly, before you pass, I had my computer turned too low, and so I didn't get the quality you wanted to bring into the circle.
magnificence of creation. And Linda, I will tag you.
So I'm Linda Savage, in San Diego, North County. By the way, I was up in San Juan Island, Sharon. I tried to wave, it would be.
I think I felt it.
Yeah. And let's see, the quality. Well, it's 2. It's acts of loving kindness. No, it's acts of loving kindness. It's 1. Loving kindness. Yeah. And I have 1 situation and 7 people.
Who would you like to pass to, Kelly?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Linda.
I got lost here, sorry. I'll pass to Sue.
Thank you. I'm Sue Riegie, Issaquah, Washington. I can see snow at the top of Tiger Mountain, and I'm wearing a lot of clothes. It's cold. So I'm going to bring in 15 people. And I don't know how to put it into one situation. So I'm just going to say planet out of balance. The planet is out of balance. And what the quality I want to bring in is balance. I just see aggression everywhere. It's just a powerful, aggressive energy. And it's just got everything out of balance. So, Angelique, I'll pass to you.
Thank you, Sue. I would love to bring as a quality the beauty of understanding on a soul level, and bringing in 12 people and 2 situations.
And Angelique, the clarity of understanding on what level did you say?
The beauty of understanding on soul level.
Soul level. Thank you.
And I go to Deborah.
Thank you. I'm here in Sanford, North Carolina. I'd like to bring in luminosity and 3 situations and 9 people.
Okay, so we've gathered here, and in this circle, we have a total of 8 situations and all that's involved in a planet that's out of balance. And we have 63 individuals. I didn't hear that we had any 4-leggeds, but we'll put in any 4-leggeds too. So we ask that the healing teams, the causal and the higher selves of all of those that have been brought to this circle be given the declaration that they work to bring them into restoration of their divine nature in the highest way possible. We trust that that is what they know how to do, and it is so. Okay, so let's go around, and what is it's on your heart or your mind that you want to just share, because we're a community. How about you, Angelique? You want to start?
I can feel that there is a lot of shifting over the last week. And that next to so much darkness, there's also much light coming. And I see it from a different perspective than before. There is more, yeah, I'm in it, and there's also more distance. It's a real different situation, and it's new. My personal situation is, I can see that in a bigger view, in a bigger context, in a global context. And that makes that, although I'm still, of course, I'm sad in my heart, but I can also put it in a global healing situation much more. So that's where I'm grateful for. And what I did yesterday is that I built for my 4 grandchildren, for each a little altar with on every non-cardinal and every cardinal direction a little power animal. So there's a circle of little power animals for all of them. And also little stones for each sacred direction, and small feathers for on that direction which they need most, or little furs from deer or so, you know. So yeah, and it feels so much more light, and there is really something shifting, because this is what I can do for them, you know, and there's nothing to call them or to go to them or whatever, but this is what I can do in an energetical way, and I love to do that, and it feels great. So thank you. I go to Linda.
So I would like to thank everyone who's here, and also the circle that Code Love and what was the Grace 911. I am so grateful for everyone. My daughter's health has improved dramatically just recently. And her depression is lifted because she claims that her experience, you know, for 5 days, high fever and headache, helped her reset. And she's looking more at what's important for her to be doing, as opposed to focusing on somebody who's taking a ton of her energy and draining it. And I feel relief, because she's made the decision. Now how it's going to happen is a tricky one, because they're living together in a condo with two dogs, and there's a lot of unwinding that will have to take place. But I have a lot of faith in it will happen. And you gave me a great idea, Angelique. I'm going to build a special altar specifically for their situation, going with ease and grace. And let's see, how about Kelly?
Well, I'm way out there per the usual and trying to understand all of this information that is coming in for me. So much of it has to do with numbers, of course, and understanding and what does that mean in the reorganization of timelines or of building out what's being set in motion. And I was reminded as I was sitting here, do you remember the game? It was a game, I guess, or a creative tool called the spirograph. Do you remember the spirographs? Right? So on a journey I had within the Northern Gateway this last weekend, I became the guide where I took my guide. It was a little gremlin guide that I have, but I took him out. I became the guide in the cosmos. So I pulled it through the firmament up into the top. And we ended up taking, the outer ring of the spirograph, the big ring where you drew on the outside. And so I was showing him all the possibilities if we changed the numerical placement of our pen or our energetic level, if we just move it slightly and expand outside and think differently, what the landscape looked like. And it was amazing. So I'm playing out there. That's where I'm spending all my time. And it's fascinating. Understanding the resonance of the possibilities that lie within that thought. So that's where I'm at. It's very exciting to me. So Sue, I'll tag you.
Thank you, Kelly. So I feel like greater connection to the elements of fire, water, air, and earth. And I'm feeling, well, I watched the news and I watched the devastation. And the devastation is a message. And it really isn't any different than people and how they are so violently acting. So this imbalance feels like a calling to work with the elements to bring balance back, or the elements are working together and are calling on us to work with them to bring balance back. Haven't got that figured out. But this rock that I picked up has become so powerful, and the message was that there's so much trauma in me that I'm blocked in a lot of power. I'm blocked. There's a lot of blocks to my power, to accessing my power, and that this rock can help me. And it, oh my goodness, when I tap into that, it just blows my mind. So I'm asking how to work with the elements and balance, being a focus within myself. So body, mind, and soul, earth, all the elements of earth, and then spirit, because spirit is already balanced. There is nothing that needs to be changed in spirit. So bringing spirit into all of it, because that's where the balance is. And I'm seeing, it was so strange. I went to this child's Christmas pageant and everybody wore masks. So then I went to my grandchildren's cousin's pageant because I knew it was only his parents showing up, and I wanted to be there for him. And nobody wore masks. A huge congregation of people, 3 of us, parents and me, were the only ones in this 1,000 people who wasn't wearing a mask. And it's kind of shocking to go from everybody wearing a mask to nobody wearing a mask. We live in a world of opposites. And again, that just brings me back to, I want to balance, also working on the balance of masculine and feminine. And the balance of aggressively pursuing something and gently pursuing something that is for the highest good of all. But I'm seeing a difference in my daughter-in-law. Oh my gosh, I can go a week or 2 weeks before she'll answer a text message. And for some reason, she's just responding. She's being more gentle. She's being more caring. She's showing an interest in me, and that hasn't been the case. So that's very different. And last week, or whenever it was, there was a difference in my son being more caring. So something's going on, and I'm enjoying it. And I know things are changing in me as I release more and more trauma. I know it affects my brain, and I can see things differently. And when I have a different perspective, it affects my heart, and I can feel differently about them. So I'm evolving, and I'm very excited about that. And I will call on Deborah.
Thank you, Sue. I was smiling broadly when Angelique, you were describing your altars for your grandchildren. And I was thinking of 2 of my granddaughters who'd want to pick their animals and their stones and make it themselves to put on it. So I was thinking that would be fun. Today, I'm just really grateful. My husband, who's had 2 unrelated cancers this year that they diagnosed, and he's gone through treatment, and he went in today for a checkup, and everything is great. Once treatments, the radiation treatments and hormone treatments have worked, things are back where they should be. They're in the range of normal. It's all good. And the other one, he's been on a chemo pill, and it's working so well, they're having to have the dose. Now it's incredibly expensive. So I'm saying, does that reduce the price of the drug by half? I don't think so, but still, it's great. Everything is just, thank you. Thank you. All the work has worked. And I had my eye exam today, my annual eye exam, and my vision got a little better. So that was good. And so I'm just grateful. Things are good. And I'm seeing, for me personally, after some of the work that Sharon and the Triad did, I feel very different, and things that I would see occasionally as possibilities and glimpses that just felt like, oh, that's, kind of like you wanting to be Cinderella princess or something, like a fake wish thing. I'm seeing where it's really true, and it's the true self that has been hidden for various reasons and stuff. So it's just kind of intriguing to see what's going to happen. I have no idea, but it's very fun. So Sharon, you're next.
Okay, well, yeah, this is it's been quite a journey for the last since September, but before that, but really intensely since September. It continues to make me so aware of how deeply many of the members of our home, our family, our mission family, are caught in the webbing of dominations, whether it's abuse or narcissism or trauma or depression. And and watching and going, applying what I know, having help from others to help my daughter move out of that and getting to a really good place. And that's where we're getting. It's still not a finish. It's still it's a big journey, and it leaves me wondering what part I might want to play in that type of a journey beyond what I do in the tag work, because there's a segment in our society that are very, very trapped. And we could call it domestic violence. We could call it PTSD, trauma, trapping, and unknown factor. Things are changing. A lot of things are changing. And I think for me, it's saying, hey, you knew what your calling was last year, but things have changed so much energetically that you're not even on the same game board anymore, not even on the same landscape anymore. And what is the calling for you with what you know on the new game board? And that's an unknown factor. Exciting, and I think we're in a place where we can help collapse the time it has taken and relieve the suffering more quickly. That is my hope for so many, many, many of our family members. So I'm glad to be here with you, and let's see what it is that we're each called to do in this journey. So we've already set the intention for this circle now and in the past. We're here to help bring sovereignty, to restore an environment in which the soul's resonance is acknowledged, is valued, is clear, and in alignment to the cultures. So that's a big deal. What's your calling today? We'll see. So get your journals ready, and I'm just going to do a very simple prompt into this journey. So just go within and find there the path or the guide that is showing up to draw you into the information, the action, where you are needed today. You can trust that journey. You can trust that guide. I'm only saying to you what you already know. What is it that I am called to do, to learn, to unwind today? Travel in whatever way you do, you will be safely brought back. But for now, journey in peace. Hello, everyone. I think we're coming back gradually. Kelly realized that she was being called to go very, very deep. So I put her into the waiting room so our conversation won't just disrupt her, but because she wanted to be able to stay out there, which is good. Okay, so what was your calling today, Linda? What was it you were shown?
Well, I was hearing more than being shown, but I did have some images. The first thing that came is that I continue this shamanic work I do, which is very deep healing of people's trauma and reconnecting them to their ancestors, basically. And I relaxed, sort of like really went into it wasn't sleep, but it was in a deeper place. And I saw the eyes which I had been seeing every time, but this time the eyes turned into the eyes of an elephant. And I still don't know exactly, but I always associate elephants with incredible wisdom, you know. And then I kept hearing the words ease and grace over and over again. Yeah, for all of us. And then the last part had to do with reminding me that these prayers I've been doing every day since COVID started. One is the Sacred Circle prayers, but also this prayer from an indigenous shaman who asked that this is all bringing us back to balanced living, which is Sue's prayer, and our connection to source and to our ancestors and the memory of our ancestors. So that was me. And it feels very hopeful, you know, like we're really, really getting help. And I will call on Angelique.
Thank you, Linda. I find myself in a desert landscape. The air is warm and the sky is from a very platinum bluish. There are two suns on both sides of my horizon. One is smaller than the other and also has a bluish soft glow deep down. The light is amazing, transparent, and full of information. I am with one of my angel guides who is pointing me where to pay attention to. The atmosphere is full of alchemical formulas, and I have no difficulty to understand these and store them all in a certain chamber of my brain. Around me, I notice all kinds of constellations of stars and planets I do not know, near and far. It is an enormous load of energy and information. However, it does not overwhelm me or my spirit. I am developing a way to tap into the part of my brain and connect with this information, to download it and bring it with me. And I realize to just keep it there as long as it is needed, until the moment shows up, to use it for a higher purpose in order to serve and support the highest good. Thank you. I go to Sue.
Thank you, Angelique. So I went into what felt like earth elements. But it's all 4 elements. So I felt the water, the fire, the earth, and the air all together in me, actually. And it felt like a solid until I brought in heart and soul. And that's when everything felt like a balance. More than balance, but I don't know what this, I don't know, a balance in life, the quality of life. And what I saw, so I went back to the picture of the devastation in Kentucky. And what I was feeling was that humanity puts all their trust and investments in the physical world. And then they expect the physical world to be their protection and their source of supply and their satisfaction and fulfillment. And then it all gets wiped out, and what they're left with is what's within them. And it forces people, instead of fighting among themselves, to work together. When devastation hits, people change. And the strange thing is, 9/11 brought people together in a soulful way. But in a matter of time, people went back to fighting among each other, themselves. They just go right back to fighting. So then I felt that those of us who are feeling the merging of the physical and the spiritual are the way showers, the beacons of light. And I was enjoying that. And I also got that it's not that my son and my daughter-in-law so surprisingly changed. It's that I changed and they felt it. That makes me cry. You know how we say, if only so-and-so could be different, everything would be better. Well, I changed and everything is getting better. They didn't have to. They're the ripple effect. So that means I need to keep going. And it's intense work and it overwhelms me. And I'm thinking, I just can't keep doing this because she just keeps uncovering more and more trauma, which I don't go back into. It's just that there's so much trauma in childhood, even prenatal. Inherited some of it. And then she gave me a tool and I just released all the overwhelm. And I was right back to balance. So I'm going to keep going because I'm reading about the effects of trauma on the brain. And I think that's what I'm seeing in my little 8-year-old granddaughter who has a very difficult time with behavior. It's not a matter of teaching her how to do it. It's a matter of her brain doing it. You can make a child practice tying their shoes forever, but until that synapse is in the brain, they can't see how to tie their shoes. And it's the same thing. If the connection's not there, we can't do it. We can't see it. So I believe there's a There's something very traumatic that happened in her. She may or may not know about. But it's exciting that there might be an answer and a solution. It's exciting that there might be a solution and she could just be a happy, normal little 8-year-old. That's everything. Did we all talk? Linda, did you talk? Linda, Deborah? Deborah.
Thank you. God, so much everybody brought back. I went with my guide to an island, little tiny island in the middle of this beautiful, beautiful turquoise ocean and white sand beaches. And it was to meet with the dolphins. And whether it's me making up stories or real, I've long had this belief that in one lifetime I was a dolphin and decided to become human and did. And at one point, someone who didn't know me was doing something and said, you know, you have to choose if you're going to be dolphin or human in this lifetime. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not crazy. So anyway, so we met with the dolphins and they took me to this underwater city where we could all breathe and stuff. And I met with the high priestess goddess dolphin. And I've talked to grandfather dolphin before. And I said, first, are you grandmother dolphin? And she's like, oh no, that's too aged a term. So I'm either, you know, high priestess or goddess dolphin. You know? I'm like, okay, whatever. But I've always been wondering, I keep coming up, is my hip, the problem with my hip, and I may need a hip replacement in the spring, due partly to this lifetime, if it was real or whatever. And she said, what was your reason for becoming human? And it was like, oh, just a minute. So she said, besides you being curious about land and people, I mean, you're always curious. Family of curiosity, what can I say? And she said, and I was like, well, I wanted him to teach them to honor the oceans and the creatures therein. And what they were doing was not good. You know, they just kept taking and feeling like it was just there for them. And so she gave me a couple things to do. You know, it's like take more saltwater baths, and rose oil has the highest vibration, and keep putting that on your hip and stuff, but it's more to be revealed. So it was kind of that there's still this need for information between the underworld, you know, the underwater worlds and people groups and stuff. So we'll see how that comes out. And I was working on a new reality statement when we came back. Thank you. So Sharon?
Great. I was asked a few questions, but what I was really led to do toward the end is to they said anchor, because there's new codes within the environment, within the solar system, within Earth, within people, individual bodies. So when you anchor a new stability that's this way, where the good is the basis, where in my tag work I was shown how we use that, but this is the galactic world's entrapment, which is the basis. So this is they're saying, no, now we can anchor the good for the balance for whatever you're anchoring, and there be an inverted triangle with this being Earth, like the laws of the Earth can work differently. So they had me just anchor a new reality, specifically around clearing the all the energy that has allowed violence and violence and domestic abuse, etc., to even exist. But now that the core is the brightness of souls is the foundation, which then is the landscape on Earth. So I'm going to play with that a little bit more. They said with Earth laws anchoring the codes, the divine can begin to respond differently than ever before. So that's what I was led to do. Okay, I think we've really enriched each other, certainly enriched our circle and beyond that. So, anything you want to say, even if it's just, hey, goodbye, we'll see you next time. Sue's circle, which is a healing, specifically a healing circle, is on Thursdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time, same number. So if you want to be on that one, that's always a good place to be too. Okay. You feel complete? Glad you were here.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And we'll see
Thank
you when
you.
we see you again.
Thank you,
Bye, love.
everyone. Good
Thank you.
night.
Thank you, Sharon.
Same. Bye, everyone.
Good night.